Guess who got brands talking? Brandlive.co.za.
Welcome everybody. Misho, are you connected, my bro?
Yeah, man, I'm connected. Are you plugged?
Yeah, man, I'm all plugged in. I'm ready for this.
All wired up and ready for action.
Yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geeks Connect show.
Welcome everybody.
I'm Tiani Ngonyama and chilling with, what's your name?
My name is Misho. Like, how can you not know my name?
Yeah. Anyway,
you see, that's a problem with DJs and with DJ innovation and people. Mr. Tiani from Gianni.
you know, you can be confusing sometimes. The things that you do, sometimes you're called Fortune, Mixo, what. You know, I get confused a lot, and especially with your driving as well. You know, we normally drive from Santon to here, and this guy is always getting lost. It's probably the GPS. You know, I feel like a lot of people don't know the GPS education. You know, but I understand that it can be confusing. What is the one thing that has been most confusing to you about the GPS?
For me, one of the most confusing thing about the GPS is when it's not much confusing, but it's just like when it gets lost and, you know, it takes me to a wrong spot and it misses the places. So yeah, that's one of the things that gets me confused around the GPS.
What do you know about 10 at the roundabout? Take the second exit.
Yeah, so you know, when they tell you this funny thing, they actually tell you on the second roundabout 10 what. You know, for me that calculation initially was a bit of a problem when they say take your second turn on your second turn and what, and to me it's like it's a circle. You know, just say circle and then 10 right or say 10 left or something. Don't confuse me like that. So yeah, that's what confuses me about it. But yeah, we were lost a bit thanks to we won't mention, but we lost. Now we found and we plugged and we connected. So hope you guys are ready for today's show, the Geeks Connect show with Mr. DJ Innovation and myself here.
Yeah. So this is the show where we connect you geeks to other geeks, to app users, to the market, to innovation platforms and structures, to opportunities,
Yes.
to the industry basically. So this is your show. Do interact with us. #Geeks Connect. Reach us through at Geek Culture at Brand Live Radio. You can check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can check us up. Where else can they check us up?
You can check us up at events. We'll be disrupting events, disturbing events, gate crushing events. We do as much as possible what is needed to make sure that you guys have the right info. Yeah, so do connect with us and let us know what you guys are thinking. I just want to give a shout out today. Definitely have to give a shout out to Bongi. Shout out to you, Bongi, out there. She loves the show. She's always listening to the show. And unfortunately, last week she missed the show. But we got you covered. So if you've missed any of the shows, hit us up. We've got a SoundCloud account where we put the shows there. So we'll definitely put today's show out. If you wanted to know more about social media, where we had Didi and Mashudu last week, shout out to them for coming through. We will definitely plug you guys with that as well.
Yeah, man. Speaking of events, where were you turning up this past week?
All right, so where I was this time around, I got a pretty cool invite from the Innovation Hub to talk at the Maxim Mondays. So Maxim Mondays is an event that they have on every Monday. They bring in an entrepreneur, not sure why it's called in, you know, people to come and share smart ideas. Once again, I guess they thought I felt.
Yeah,
I don't know, but quite amazing. So yeah, what I was talking about is more on social media. How can you use social media to enhance your business? So there's a lot of things that we touched upon, but yeah, we rushed a bit. So if you are around the Gauteng area, on Mondays, the Innovation Hub is a event called Maxim Mondays. From 9:30 until 10:30. You know, just start your morning off meeting up with other entrepreneurs and just listening to what other entrepreneurs are doing. Where were you turning up, T?
Oh yes, I was turning up, side to side, up and down. I was in fact in Johannesburg at the Saibono Discovery Center.
Yeah.
I got an invite from the Engineers Without Borders. So they were hosting their...
What's that?
Engineers Borders is a collective network of engineers. Talk about mining engineers, civil engineers, electromechanical and all types of engineers. But then these engineers are going without borders. They are stepping into communities, uplifting communities. They get into schools to do some social work, and it's quite fascinating. But they were hosting a leadership summit where we're talking about, is Africa built for innovation? We had an interesting discussion there. There was a lady from a YouTube project as well. And also Prof. Berry was there.
Yeah, Prof. Berry. Awesome. Talking about Prof. Berry, we are interviewing him. You got to have good chats with him earlier on. So you'll let us know a little bit about what's happening in the world of Prof. Berry, or who Prof. Berry is.
Yeah. So you definitely want to keep the name Prof. Berry in your diary, because it's going to be one of the coolest people within the digital textbooks, technological textbooks. Is going to be one of the greatest people. Is transforming Braamfontein in a huge way. So we will be interviewing him just after 10:30. So have a look out on that. You know, Misho, as far as to what's happening in the tech space right now, we have. I saw this interesting thing. So there's a robot.
Yes.
An AI robot.
Yes.
It can steal your code.
Artificial intelligence, for those who still are catching up.
Yes. So this robot can steal people's code and then write its own programs, basically.
What?
Yes.
Wait, what?
The AI robot can steal your code and write its own programs. Unfreaking believable. So
yeah?
Yeah, so it means now that robots can procreate. I can't wait to say this. I need a robot to build me a robot. That's exactly what's going to happen.
So it basically takes your code, and then it's like, nah, this code, let me create my own better code, and it does something with your code.
Yes. So this is machine learning taken to a whole new level.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Talking about machine learning, that's the stuff that your MTNs are busy working with your Intels. Look who's wearing Intel right there, branded. We see you, T.
We see you too, Misho. You've got Intel inside. Anyway, yes. So that's the interesting story. And of course, last week we spoke about the legendary nerd himself, Bill Gates, who proposed that robots must start paying tax, especially those that are taking people's jobs.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of building a robot, make sure that your robot has an algorithm for to do its own taxes. You know. Yeah.
So there's actually someone who's already dropped a question. The EWB guys, to like, what's Prof. Berry's stance on women in ICT? So I'm pretty sure that was a conversation that was going on during the meeting.
Not really, but Prof. Berry, he leads the Tshimologong digital precinct in Braamfontein. I know that they are always having a lot of events on empowering women, especially during the Fakugesi festival. And in fact, there's an event happening next week. We'll tell you more about it on social media. That has a greater focus on women. So Prof. Berry has been championing women empowerment within the ICT field, and we'll tell you more about it.
So there you have it, the AWB guys. Prof. Berry has been championing a lot of women initiatives, promoting that. I think that's also, it's not just him. There's a lot of people within the tech space who are pushing that out. Shout out to Sina as well for pushing that out. It's a movement, connecting young girls to the world of IT and just giving them a platform where they can now say, listen, we as young women, let's come together and share what we know.
Yeah. So we'll tell you more about the event that's coming up with Raketsa later on. Quite an interesting event that they have planned up. So now let's have a look at some of the tech facts this week. Yeah. So listen to this, Misho.
Yeah.
the first tech fact of today is the fact that Hewlett Packard, HP, yes, was started at a garage in Palo Alto in 1939.
What's with all these things starting up in garages? Maybe we should build a garage and start something as well.
Yeah, man. I always say it on the show as well. We don't have a lot of garages in South Africa. We need to build more garages to get more people innovating and so forth.
Yeah.
But it's quite fascinating considering that today we've got this ecosystem in America, Silicon Valley, where they've got these startups starting up from a garage. Google started from a garage, Yahoo garage, and all these large companies right now. Most of them started at garages. So it's quite fascinating as to how garages have been influencing innovation within our lifetime.
I think also people should not sometimes feel that they need to go and hook up a garage somewhere. They should just use a concept of garage is just a concept of yes, some do actually start at a garage, but it's a concept of using what you have at the current moment, to move as far as you want to go. So it could be your room at home, it could be your rest, your room in the hostel, whatever it is. Use all means necessary to push what you're doing. Yes. So there's this thing called QWERTY. I really struggle pronouncing it. It was probably one of the first key points I used to learn with when I learned how to use a computer. Like, use the QWERTY place,
Okay.
Just put your hands there. So what they say is the QWERTY keyboard layout was designed to slow you down. Interesting. So these people have been messing with our brains for a while.
Yeah.
So they say it was designed to slow you down. So it means there's a lot of people who are probably typing like crazy.
Yes. The reason behind that is actually quite technical, because if you're typing faster and pressing a lot of buttons at the same time, your phone would freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're giving it too many synchronous inputs at the same time, and it will slow your phone and then just make it freeze, basically.
DJ Innovation just went on some innovation on us. What do you call it? Synchro? What? Synchronous.
Yeah, man.
We got you. We learning.
Yeah, man.
That's what the show is all about, where we come and we learn a lot of things. But we also want to learn from you guys. So do drop us your comments. We see you guys on Instagram. We see what you guys are putting out there. Pretty cool. So the last one is Russia built a computer that can run on water. Wait, what? Russia built a computer that can run on water in 1936.
Yes.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So there are computers that runs on water instead of electricity even at the moment. But then the interesting fact is that this was one of the first computers built to run on water, and they use all sort of mechanical means to make sure that instead of using electricity, you are using water to make sure that your computer runs.
Yeah, so in line with what the city of Joburg, save water, save electricity. So that's a computer in Russia. That was in 1936. They started using water instead of your typical electricity. Maybe. Well, we have a shortage of water, but
so water obviously one of the most scarce resources. It's very critical. I'm sad at what's happening in Cape Town right now. They have got less than 130 days left of fresh water.
Jeez.
Yeah. Last year, in fact 2015, 2016, California in the States was having a huge water shortage. Rain was not falling, and we kept on saying hashtag rain must fall. Even in South Africa, we have had that crisis where rain was not falling. I remember we started the hashtag in 2015, hashtag rain must fall. That was quite fascinating. And some people actually went to the union buildings to pray. There were all sorts of things that rain must fall. Some people thought that we need to go pay the ancestors. We need to go pay the ancestors a visit and basically praise them.
Yeah.
And ask for rain to fall. Yeah, but unfortunately, Cape Town is kind of suffering right now. Fresh water supply is running out, and it's a huge impact. But on the brighter side, the Vaal River.
Yes, that's flowing like crazy.
Yeah, it's flowing like crazy. It's now at its highest level in probably about 18 years or so. Yeah, so it's quite fascinating. Shout out to Dineo. Yeah. Shout out to Dineo. The rains in the past few weeks have been quite helpful in making sure that we have got a huge supply of water. I know that the city of Joburg have now lifted the water restrictions. It was tough.
Yeah.
They had to make sure that they cut down on the water
and you get
suppliers.
fined if you were overusing and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes. I know that the city of Tshwane said, well, let's wait a bit. So the city of Tshwane have decided that this was good. We had a good thing going, and we're able to save a whole lot of water. I think about 20% water saved during the restrictions.
Yeah.
So they've said, let's wait a bit to make sure that we save more. I like that. But interestingly, the city of Cape Town this week have released the list and name-shamed. You know, like that. Boom. What the name
Drop
dropping?
it like that.
Yeah, name dropping of water wasters in the city. So it's some people are not happy about it, but then the city gotta do what it gotta do.
Yeah, it's the city of Cape Town.
Yeah, man.
Shaming the people that are wasting electricity.
water.
Wasting water.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good move, but I guess you need to put in those measures at times, eh?
Yeah, you have to. You have to, because we cannot have a state of lawlessness.
Guys, I think you need to take out your dictionaries today. Professor T is on a roll.
Oh. Anyway, remember we were talking about HP earlier on.
Yeah.
And HP was started in a garage. So on this show, we also have a show where we also have a segment where we want to see what South African innovators, what are African innovators working on in their garages or in their kitchen, because we code everywhere. We code. In fact, this weekend in my place, I decided, what, screw it. I'm occupying the dinner table, took out everything on the dinner table and put in 3 screens in there, and I was coding on the dinner table. So I've done it in the car, I've done it in the dinner table, I've done it everywhere. But then garages seem to have a huge impact in terms of innovation and coding. Get your guys, your geeks, and they are geeks, and you all code. But right now we get to check out what are young innovators working on out there.
Yeah.
Through a segment we call a weekly checkout.
So the weekly checkout is, as Tim mentioned, it's just basically, if you are doing something out there, right, does it not necessarily have to be hardware, it doesn't have to be an app, it doesn't have to be a website, but we want to know what is it that you guys are doing that's pretty cool, that we can put up and let other people know. So if you are working on a product, a software, a service, or you're providing something, give us a shout out, let us know so we can put it out and let other people see what your work is doing. This week we're checking out Year 2. So it's called the Year 2 app, which is a stock file management. Have you done stock files, T?
No, man.
You haven't done stock file?
I haven't.
All right, so for those who don't know what stock file is, it's where you probably have a group of people and you exchange money. So this month let's just say we put in 100 Rand, right? We say this month all of us are taking 100 Rand and putting it into T's account. Next month, you're putting in someone else's account. It's quite an investment. It's a way of saving and investing a little bit. It's quite big. Billions are spent within the stock file market. So it's quite a big thing. So today we profiling one app called the Year 2 app. It's a stock file management app, right? The app is developed by a young team of entrepreneurs from Cape Town. So if they are not trying to save water, they're trying to see how you guys can save money. So props to the guys. It hopes to address fraud, corruption and other challenges faced by 11 million South Africans in the Stokvel market. So you can check out the platform. It's called yetu.co.za. So YETHU.co.za. It's a platform where they use for Stokvel. Yeah, what else can you tell us about? Oh yeah, the other thing about it's got some nice backing. Launch Lab is behind it. Forgot the other one. There's a couple of institutions that are backing it up. So look into the Yetu app.
Yeah, man. So the financial systems are obviously important to manage. I think we will have a show very soon where we'll be talking about forex trading. Have you seen forex traders, for example?
Hey, dude, I've seen a couple of them. I've seen how they really are amped up about forex. I'm still struggling with forex. I don't really get it as yet. So we'll have a time when we talk about forex.
Yeah, maybe someone will convince me to go into that one day. But
so those who tried so far have failed.
I don't know. I'm ignorant. Okay, I'm an ignorant guy. I haven't really dwelled too much into the forex market, but I've heard people talking about it. It's a trending term. Forex, and you'll see people on their phones, on their laptops. Everybody is trying to trade. But then I also know some information on the JSE as well.
Yeah.
Of how the JSE works and how to go about trading on that. But then when it comes to forex, I haven't really dwelled too much into that. So that's the point of this show. We need to be able to learn from each other. Check out what works. Check out what doesn't. Check out what can uplift people.
Yeah, for me, the big major thing is that be it forex, be it whatnot, at the end of the day, these guys are using tech. So here's a message to anyone out there: you can't ignore the geeks forever. Everywhere you'll be going, your Facebook, your social media, your forex, it's a lot of tech that goes behind. I mean, if some guy decides to just pull the plug, and the geeks are no longer connected, problems all over the place.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to quickly take an ad break and we'll be back after this. Okay, we have to...
Making a bold statement yet blending into the surrounding suburbs of Melville, 27 Boxes is a realization of edgy design and practical implementation. A radical departure from the shopping malls of our generation, yet not a return to the high streets of our youth. 27 Boxes showcases the best of a shopping centre set in a garden, surrounded by the bohemian suburb that is Melville. 27 Boxes, shop, play, eat.
All right. We're back.
Yeah, man, we're back.
All right. Open data.
Yes. So this is the part of the show where we say ask a gig.
Yes. So we're here to answer your questions. So if you have any questions for us, drop us a tweet, drop us a DM, drop us an email, comment on this Instagram video that's up now. Ask us a question, and we'll try our best to answer the question. What question do you have for us, T?
Okay, so today the main focus is on digital innovation. That's why we also brought Prof Berry to be interviewed as well. You'll hear more on how he's leading the digital innovation programs in the country, and a lot of different municipalities are trying to go digital.
Yeah,
that's why also the ICT white paper policy was released last year. Somewhere around October or so. So mostly these cities are trying to go in line with creating smart parks, making sure that people are not left behind in the digital transformation world. And open data has been critical in driving that course as well. The city of Ekurhuleni, thanks for the notepad. Anyway, City of Ekurhuleni have an open data portal where people can go and check out the data, raw data that you can use to develop an app, raw data that the public can use to understand what's going on in the city. And then City of Cape Town as well also have an open data portal, which is quite exciting. And we also have something called Open Government Partnership.
Yeah.
So Open Government Partnership is an international accord. There are a couple of countries involved in that partnership. So each and every country within the Open Government Partnership are saying that we commit towards being open in terms of data. We're talking about elections data, we're talking about energy consumption data, we're talking about environmental data, healthcare, education, and everything. So the public deserve to know what's going on so that they can interact.
Yeah, so this has become quite a big thing. There's the open data, where it's more on how can citizens use the data that the municipalities have to better the service, help better the service, have create better products and services. You're no longer just sitting at your corner and making an assumption that I think this is the data that they have. The city now is opening and say, listen, we have this bunch of data sitting here. Right,
Yes.
you guys need to make sense out of it. Make sense of it so that you can create products that can benefit the rest of our community. So open data is going to be a very, very big thing. Talking about open data, right? There's a couple of things that are happening
Yes.
within the open data space. Mind just giving us a little bit about those?
Okay, yeah. So this Saturday is an international celebration worldwide.
Yeah.
There are over 260 events around the world that are celebrating data, from Canada, Australia, New York, Sweden, and then all the way to South Africa.
Hello.
Are we? Yes. So here in South Africa, we're hosting open data events.
Yeah.
We have one in the Northern Cape in an area called Katu. So that's the exciting part for me, because we now get to take these things to
The
like
rural areas as well.
ruralish areas, and then we try to drive the digital transformation as well. But if you're in Pretoria, you can join us this weekend at the University of Pretoria, where the Open Data Day, we are collaborating with GIS at UP. And this is what Victoria from the GIS team at UP had to say. The aim of celebrating the Open Data Day at UP is to promote the value of open data and engage with the local community, more specifically school learners, through engaging with the use of data with gamification. By using gamification, we hope to familiarize participants with the available open data on public funds and spending, and promote the use of the data. Getting school learners involved and excited about open data is important, as it removes the fear of working with data sets and encourage them to explore the available data sets, and in order to take informed decisions as future leaders. Yes, so I told you earlier on,
Yeah.
in fact on Tuesday, I told you that, Misho, you need to become more data centric. You must be able to work with data. So it's important for everyone to work with data, especially our government officials. That they have to work with data in terms of how many areas do not have schools in South Africa, how many girls are enrolled in various schools. You know that we have been having problems where young girls have had to drop out of school and so forth. So that data, we need to keep it aligned and make sure that everybody understands what is going on.
Let's take a step back, right?
Okay.
So there's this whole bunch of talk on open data, right? And we getting the hang of what open data is, right?
Okay.
Now, if I'm sitting and be it I'm an IT student, it's obviously it's not open to IT students only. That's a nice thing about it. But how do I get involved in this? Where do I start getting involved in this open data? What skills do I learn? Is it just about getting data, filtering it out? What really goes into the process with this open data?
So what's the most exciting thing with this data is the story angle that you get to come up with behind the data. So you can get data from various platforms. We'll share them on the social media platform just now.
Sure.
You can get data sets and then analyze what is the story behind that. Like the one that we're hosting at UP, it will be focused on municipality financial data. You understand? How much is the city of Joburg spending in fixing potholes? How much is this city spending to provide electricity in the city? Those things that you never really think about. So it tends to open up your mind. But then for you to get started, you need to get involved.
Yeah,
you need to get involved, play around with the data and see what is actually happening. When was the open data quest last year at the University of Pretoria, we actually discovered that there's a possibility that Pretoria have more potholes than Johannesburg.
Interesting. I always thought Sandton has the highest number of potholes.
Yeah,
like
but
every area in Sandton is just pothole.
Yeah, so those things you get to explore through the data that you receive, and then also you could know things like can use it to predict strikes in a city.
Nice.
Protests, can use the data in terms of how is the supply, how is the service provision, how much of electrical power is being provided to the citizens, and then so look at the amount versus the number of people. And this was quite interesting. We compared to two cities actually. I think Buffalo City, I forgot the other one. But then the discovery there was that Buffalo City was receiving more money from the government. So that city was provided more money. And then another one with a higher population than Buffalo City was receiving less money. But then we had to explore why is this so? Why is this city with fewer number of people receiving more money than the other city? But then we discovered that this city is along the coastal line. So the government have to provide more money to that city because they have to maintain the coastal area.
Interesting.
Yeah, so those things get to help us understand what is the real story behind why some services are provided in a certain way.
All right, so that's the thing about open data for those who haven't got the hang of it. You use it to analyze a lot of things and helps you make better decisions, but at the same time helps provide better services. So just a heads up to all the developers out there, do consider the open data platforms. If it's not that, do consider the processes of filtering out this information. So you guys build stuff with the right information.
Yes. So just the last thing on this open data thing. Imagine if you could get data on all the clinics of South Africa and the types of diseases that are being treated each day. Also how many patients and so forth. You could develop an app that alerts people when they get to a particular area. Let's say I'm going to Matiani in Limpopo. I'm going to Matiani in Limpopo. I could just use the app. What are the common diseases around this area? What are the weather conditions as well? Because I could be allergic to some certain things or some particles in the air around the area. So that data we need to know and be able to make informed decisions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick ad break and then we're going to play you a jam. So I hope you're coding, grab a cup of coffee and we'll be back after this.
Have you ever thought about the power of social media? Social media has the power to make your business grow. Yeah. Why don't you let us manage your social media? Because our business is to see your business grow. Visit us at www.bstownmedia.co.za.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are chilling with Prof. Berry from the Wits University. Prof. Berry, welcome to the show. Can you quickly tell us about yourself and your rich journey within the field?
Okay, so my name is Professor Barry Dwolatzky. I'm called by some of our friends in the community the Grand Geek, which I quite like. I've been working at Wits University now for most of my working life. In the past 10 years, I've run a center at Wits called the Joburg Center for Software Engineering, and I have been the driving force behind establishing the Tshimologong Digital Innovation Precinct, which is Wits University's digital precinct within Braamfontein, the West Braamfontein area. In terms of where we are with the Tshimologong precinct, it's been an amazing journey, and it's now reaching a very critical point. So we've got 2 lots of buildings. There's one called the DIS, which is in Braamfontein. For those of you that know Braamfontein, it's on the corner of Smith and Ian Drug Street at 111 Smith Street. There's a coffee shop down in the ground floor, and the rest of the building is devoted to a space which has classroom space, a fantastic maker lab, a incubator that's been put together in partnership with the Pretoria Innovation Hub called Maxim Digital, and a wonderful event space on the top. And then we've got our Jutta Street buildings, which is a row of 5 buildings, which is the Tshimologong Precinct North, as we now call it.
Yes.
And that's going well. Those buildings are all coming together.
All right, Prof, sounds exciting. Seems like Braamfontein is being changed into this digital world. Tell me, how can young people out there become part of this transformation? How can they become part of the Tshimologong Digital Precinct?
So there are many ways that people can engage with us. Firstly, although it's a Wits University project, it's open to anyone.
Okay.
So anyone who wants to be part of it can apply or can participate in some of our activities. And I want to just speak about 3 different ways that people can get involved. We are running a skills academy. So as part of the JCSE, which is the center of Wits that I run, we are running what we call our skills pipeline. And it could take people who've got enthusiasm and passion but no digital knowledge through various programs that would lead them into deeper knowledge, and in some cases working in the local ICT industry. So there's a coding component, there's game design, there's app design. We linked with the Microsoft App Factory, and then there's a lot of project-based work and internship opportunities. So in terms of that stream, it's very possible for people to approach us. If you've got certain skills, you'll come into the pipeline at a higher level. If you have no skills at all, we'll build you up through it. To find out more about that, people should go onto the JCSE website. So it's the Joburg Center for Software Engineering. It's jcse.org.za. And there will be information there for people to see when we're recruiting new intakes. And there are huge opportunities there for people who've got passion and aptitude in the digital world. The second way is people who've got an idea. So anyone who's got an idea for something digital that they would like to turn into a new business, a startup, or into a new product, we would welcome people applying to be part of our incubator, and that they should look on the Tshimologong.Joburg website, and there's a place to click to say apply for membership, and we screen members, and we've got various criteria. If you meet our criteria, you will then be invited to join as a member of the incubator community. There's a membership fee, but those that can't afford the fee can apply for one of our sponsored seats. So that's another way people can engage. The third way is that we're constantly running challenges and hackathons. And there's one live at the moment, but you'd have to move really quickly because it closes tomorrow, Friday the 3rd, and that is the WITS Campus Navigation Challenge. And just very briefly what the challenge is about, it's dealing with the problem of students with mobility impairments, people who are blind, people who are in wheelchairs, who are needing to get from building to building at WITS. Now WITS has vast campuses, and although we've got wheelchair ramps and routes that are friendly to people that are visually impaired, it's very difficult for people to find their way from place to place. So we've got this challenge out that, as I said, closes tomorrow, the 3rd of March, and it's a very simple application process. You have to put in a 2-minute video clip. You can apply as yourself or part of the team. So I think anyone that wants to be part of that should look to apply. We'll choose about 100 people that will then go through a process, and the winner will get to spend a month at one of our partner innovation hubs around the world. So you might spend a month in Toronto, in the USA, in Europe, where you can then take your idea further. So that's the one challenge, but we're again going to run the Hack Josie challenge, and there'll be other challenges we run. So keep track of that on our Tshimologong website.
Wow, sounds like a lot is happening. So ladies and gentlemen, go on to jcse.org.za to check out all the different programs. This is Prof. Berry. He has inspired a lot of our work here at Geek Culture. But Prof, last year you won the ICT Awards, a lifetime achievement in the ICT Awards 2016. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and how do you think that recognizes the work that you have been doing throughout the years?
I guess that I would be kidding if I said that I don't like to be recognized for what I've done. I suppose most of us like recognition.
Yes, we all do.
And I feel very honored to have been recognized by my peers in the South African ICT industry as making a significant contribution. But I do always try to sort of separate me from the ideas and the mission I'm on. So it's great for me as a person, but it's more important for what we're trying to do. And what we're doing is we're creating a space for digital innovators and entrepreneurs in South Africa and hopefully in Africa to really realize their dreams. And if that works, if we can create a space where people can get the skills and the resources and support to take the amazing innovations that I know are out there. I know that people in our community have amazing ideas and they need support to take those ideas out there. And with ourselves, with what Geek Culture does, we really have an ecosystem that will support the lonely entrepreneur, the lonely innovator, and bring them to market and help them realize their dreams. So the kind of recognition might be for me, but I hope it's also for the work that I and a whole bunch of other people are doing to support this amazing opportunity in Africa and South Africa.
All right, Prof, speaking of dreams, what is your one ultimate digital dream for Africa?
So we are really sitting here in Africa with huge challenges and problems on the one hand and huge opportunities on the other. And my big dream is that we find even one example where the problem is matched to a digital solution and it makes a difference, a real difference in Africa and in the world. I think we can do it. I know we can do it. So, and I won't call it the next Google or the next whatever. It will be the first African digital innovation that will change the world, solve real problems, give huge opportunities, and will be something that we can all proudly look at and say, this came out of Africa. That's my dream.
Awesome. So to software engineers sitting out there, a programmer, app developer, innovator, what message do you have for them right now?
I think people in the community of digital developers, and I include hardware, software, and content developers, anyone who's doing stuff with digital and has the skills to do it. I really believe that the 21st century is your century. You, the guys and girls who are going to kind of make the difference. So my two pieces of advice is get skilled. If you feel you've got skills, get more. Keep skilling yourself. There's so many easy ways now to skill yourselves up. There's a guy who we've been working with who's learned everything he knows watching YouTube videos and TED Talks. There are ways to learn, even if you haven't got money and resources to do it. So get skilled, and then believe in yourself. Believe that you can make a difference and live your dream. Don't settle for second best. Only accept what's best.
Now, great geek. We call you great geek, and we like that. Waking up every day with this dream of transforming Braamfontein into a digital African ecosystem, what do you think was your biggest motivation?
I guess my biggest motivation is that I saw all the ingredients there for success, and I realized that it was the right moment in time and space for Braamfontein to become. And I've used the word Silicon Valley of Africa, but it's not that. It's the most important digital space in Africa. And I think all the ingredients are there, and it just now has to be pulled together. So that's what gets me going. I love the story of the great artist and sculptor Michelangelo, who looked at a piece of marble and he saw the statue of David in that piece of marble. And all he had to do was remove all the bits that weren't David, and he was left with David. So I see the dream is there in central Joburg, and we just have to remove all the bits that aren't the dream, and we'll be left with it. And that's what keeps me going every day.
All right. Do you perhaps read any books? One book that you would recommend to our listeners out there?
I kind of read boring books, I must be honest. Well, I read two kinds. I read novels that are just my form of relaxation, but I read books that some people might consider to be boring. I think the book that's really inspired me quite a lot is a book called the Checklist Manifesto, and I can't even remember who it's by, but anyone can search on that. And the Checklist Manifesto is really about the importance of process. I think in this world where it's so easy to shoot from the hip, what this book has taught me is that there's a kind of right and ordered way to do things. And if we believe in quality, we need to really try to follow processes and act as engineers. I'm an engineer, so that's why I think like that.
All right. How can someone get hold of you?
So I guess that the best way is to, and it's useless to try to send me emails, but if you try contact through JCSE and through Tshimologong, and just put messages up on our website, on our Facebook, on our Twitter, I'll get to see those, and I'll try my very best to get back to people. But I think trying to send me emails, as most people know, most busy people in this modern world don't deal well with emails.
Yes.
So I do follow social media, and if you really put your hand up, I'll try and get back to
Speaking of
you.
social media, what's your Twitter handle?
It's in fact Barry Dwolatzky. So
Okay.
it's my whole name.
All right,
Barry Dwolatzky.
we'll type it up on our social media accounts. Just look out in a few minutes. Thank you so much for coming through, Prof. Barry. And then, what digital footprint would you think that we need to leave behind as the current generation?
I think that we are the generation of laying the foundation. I think what the next generation will do is build on the foundation that we've laid, and we're doing that. So the technologies, the way of working is here, and we can be very proud of having done so much in so short a time. But I think it's now time to hand over the baton to the new generation who will build on that and start solving real problems for real people.
Awesome, thank you so much, and we look forward to utilizing the Tshimologong digital precinct even more. So go check it out in Braamfontein, 47 Juta Street. It's awesome.
Thank you. Bye.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that was quite a very informative interview with Prof. Barry. Such a very, what you call the grand geek.
Yes.
The grand geek, doing quite a lot, especially in the Braam and tech space. So you guys should check out Braamfontein, Tshimologong.
Yes.
That's where you get a lot of information on what is really going on. We've put up the link to the website if you need it. It's going to be up there, and then on our Twitter platform.
All right, just quickly, because we have to wrap up. As to what's happening this week or in a few weeks, Reketsetsa, the Women Initiative, are hosting high tea tech.
No, they're not greeting tea, but yes, high tea tech.
I love myself sometimes. Anyway, go have a look at that. We'll share up the links on social media, the tech part. The Safe Hackathon is happening in partnership with PwC and Telkom on the 18th and the 19th.
That's going to be quite an interesting one.
Yes, on the 18th and 19th of March. So have a look at that. Hackathons in the Northern Cape, Kimberley or 53 Hack. Get your friends and their friends. Let's do a road trip and go to Kimberley and empower those young geeks, man, in the city of the Diamond.
Yeah, so those are some of the events that are happening. To follow all those events, if you missed it, follow Geek Culture on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and use the hashtag GeeksConnect to find out on what we're talking about today and to get last week's podcast as well.
Yes, and check out www.geekculture.com. Ladies and gentlemen, keep it real, keep on keeping on.
We out of here, man.
Yeah, man.
You're listening to brandlive.co.za.